avoiding all pleasures of the world. Vairagya means having control over our own indulgence and sticking to our path of spirituality. On that path, we should never deviate from that path. If any pleasures of this world or anything of this world if makes us deviate from our path, then it is not good. Then whatever it is not good. So Vairagya will happen when we discriminate, when we think and we weigh our priorities properly. Time and all. It is not, we have not come here to live permanently. This body-mind equipment is temporarily available. And with this we can attain that supreme. It is temporarily available. When it will go, we don't know. It is like a bubble. When it goes, everything goes. When again you will become conscious of another body, we don't know. That is just a theory then. So this is a chance. And why we should waste this chance? And for what purpose? For some little gain of this world, it is not required. So indriyartheshu vairagyam, when this vairagya comes through proper discrimination, through proper evaluating the pros and cons, when that vairagya comes, that person becomes available for the supreme enlightenment. Then the teaching of the scriptures, the words of the teacher reaches the very core of his heart. He wakes up. And nothing is more interesting than that gaining that state of enlightenment. Nothing is more valuable for that person. He just walks on this path without getting distracted. There is an Upanishad called Kathopanishad. Nachiketa, little boy, he approached Lord of Death and he told him that please give me this self-knowledge, teach me, reveal this truth to me. And Yamraji wanted to test him. He said, I will give you a lot of pleasures. I will make you live for a long time in this world. You can have a lot of land and property and you will have a big family and children and you can live as long as you want in this world and have pleasures which are difficult on earth. I can provide them to you. But don't ask for this enlightenment and all. आगे देखेंगे retirement के बाद. He said, no, I don't want all this, whatever you have offered, I am not interested. They are all temporary. They will just dry my senses and my mind and make them like a dust. I don't want them. I want to gain this state of enlightenment. If you are ready to give me, I will stay here. Otherwise, I am going to another teacher. Yamrajji then gave him this. He was very pleased with him and he revealed this knowledge to him. That's called Vairagya. Vairagya is not, as I said, it's not hatred or dislike or disliking other people who are indulging in pleasures and all. No need to dislike them. No need to hate anybody. No need to hate the world and all. It is just about yourself, your priorities. You have chosen. So one who has chosen enlightenment, his mind is shifted from other things. Like this light focus. When it gets focused on a particular point, then what happens? Other point becomes dark. It is just focus on one. There is darkness other place and there is light at one place. So Vairagya is to darken all other paths and other pursuit and just illumine the path of enlightenment. So indriyartheshu vairagyam. Anahankara evacha. Then comes anahankara. See, each value one can speak a lot on that, but we will continue. You think about it and cultivate those values in your heart. Anahankar. Anahankar means absence of ahankar. Absence of ahankar means a sense of doership. Aham karta iti bhavana. the notion that I am the doer, the notion that I have done this. And this notion comes when we strongly identify with our body, with our mind, with our senses. We have a strong notion that I am the doer. But when we look objectively at this equipment, and when we identify, when we look at ourselves at that pure consciousness, then we will know that this whole equipment functions according to the laws of nature. They get the light from me, but they function according to the laws of nature. Then a person will slowly, that sense of doership will start reducing, will become less and less. Anahankar. Also, when we surrender to that, to the higher power, when we surrender to our teacher, then there is a sense of what you call humility, and absence of sense of doership happens. That is called anahankar, absence of ahankar. So that is also an important sadhana to be cultivated. State of absence of ego will take place in the final state of enlightenment. But here it's a preliminary level, wherein it can also be acquired by becoming the sevak, by considering ourselves as an instrument in the hands of Ishvara. That also will reduce the ego. When I think I am the boss, then ego is there. But when I say that I am the sevak of a higher boss, then that ego gets reduced. Like Hanumanji, when he was asked, who are you? He said, I am the sevak of Sri Ram. He himself was quite capable and strong and all, but he says, no, all my strength and power belongs to him. I am his sevak. So though actions were being performed, but he did not have ahankar in them. That strong sense of doership was not there. So anahankar evacha. But how to develop this vairagya in our heart and how to develop this anahankar? Bhagavan gives the method below. He says, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Anudarshanam, constantly seeing, constantly perceiving. What? Dosha, defects. Defect in what? What type of defect? Dukkha dosha, defect of sorrow. In what? Janma, mrityu, jara and vyadhi. Janma means birth. There is sorrow in birth, being born in a particular body, an enlightened person, born in a particular body or identified with a particular body, taking birth itself is full of sorrow. If you see the various type of creatures who are there taking birth, and their life, if you happen to see their life, is full of all sorts of tragedy and pain and sorrow. All the time there is fear of some predator coming and eating them. All the time there is hunger and thirst. All the time looking here and there where we can get some food to eat. Constantly there is some struggle for living. So janma is sorrow, mrityu, then there is fear of death and the pain of death, death of ourselves and death of our loved ones around. So that mrityu also is full of sorrow, pain. Then jara, old age. Old age comes, whatever you do, it will come. And with old age comes whatever the senses and the mind and the intellect and our body and all, it loses its power and strength. It becomes more and more weak. And then one cannot perform as one was performing in one's youth and all. So that also old age has got its own problem. If you want to know, you can contact people and ask them, Dadaji, kaise ho aap? Then he will tell the sad story. क्या करे बेटा, हमारे जमाने में ऐसा नहीं था. हमारे घर वालों को पैसे का बहुत है. Anyway, so sorrow, pain about not being taken care of, and always some complaint or other. कोई मुझसे बात नहीं करता है. Nobody is talking. Nobody is asking my this opinion. Suddenly, one fine morning, I see a party is going on. मेरे को पता ही नहीं. Whatever. So sorrow, some sorrow, pain, loneliness, fear, economic problem, social problem, this, that, and all sorts of things. So old age is sorrow, mrityu is sorrow, janma is sorrow, and vyadhi. Vyadhi can happen anytime. Vyadhi means disease, physical disease, some problem. It can happen anytime, and that also is full of sorrow. So when we see that even this limited lifespan which we have, which can be utilized to attain the state of enlightenment, it is not full of joy. It has got its own problems. It has got its own limitations. It is not all the time good. It has got its own negativities. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvat jivitam atishay chapalam vidhi vyadhya vimanagrastam lokam shoka hatancha samastam. In Bhaja Govindam, Bhagavan says that this lifespan is very flimsy, and that too is filled with sorrow and pain. This is not to develop what you call hatred or something, but this dosha darshan, when we do, we develop vairagya. Our attachment and our indulgence in this life and in this body and all, and having a big plan for future and this and that and all sorts of imaginary ideas which we have, as though we will be living in this world for a long time. Not only we have ideas about ourselves, but about the world also, and changing the world and transforming and all. Bhagavan says, you are a temporary person here. You perform whatever duties you are given, but utilize this time to attain the Supreme. You are a passenger here. You are not the ticket collector. See, there is a difference between the TC and the passenger. TC is very powerful there. He can make you get up from your seat and make you go there and keep on checking this and that, and he does a lot of things. It appears as though the TC is traveling. TC doesn't travel. He is permanently in the train only. He doesn't reach anywhere. But he has got a lot of power. He has got a lot of status. He has got a lot of, everyone respects him. Everyone is scared of him. If you don't have proper seat and all, you can do namaskar to the TC, you can get it. But TC, when the station comes, you travel, and when the station comes, you get down and you go towards your destination. The TC doesn't. He again goes back to from where the train started. Next time when you come again, you see the same TC there. Similarly, there are some people who live in this world like TCs. They are great power and fame and name, and they give you what to do and what not to do, and they allot seat to you, but they don't reach anywhere. So we are not here as TCs. We should be here as passengers. We should reach our destination. We should not make a permanent place in this samsara. So when we look at our life very objectively, we will know the defects, and the purpose of this seeing the defect is to gain vairagya, is to not develop hatred for anyone or for ourselves also, but to gain vairagya, and that vairagya will help us to gain that state of enlightenment. So janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. So anudarshanam means perceiving it again and again. When we become aware of it, we suddenly will be able to drop it. Like Gautam Buddha, he was born in a very prosperous family, king, prince. He has seen all the wealth and all the pleasures. One day he went with the minister, looked around, and he saw the sorrows of life, sorrows of birth, sorrows of disease, sorrows of old age, sorrows of death he saw. And what did it make him? Did he become cynical? No. He just understood that my priority now is to gain that state of enlightenment. Not only for myself, but I can then share it with the whole world. So he just renounced everything, followed that path, gained that state of enlightenment, came back and shared it with the whole world. Rather than just living in one particular family, taking care of his wife and children and his mother-in-law and father-in-law. That would have been another life story, but we wouldn't have heard about him at all. But since he renounced and he attained that state of enlightenment, he became Buddha, awakened. Buddha means one who is awakened, enlightened. So how he gained this? By seeing the defects and withdrawing himself from that, but not becoming totally aloof, but then going in that direction and gaining that state of enlightenment. So many people see defect and become cynical if they don't have the proper understanding. The dosha of this world can make a person cynical, make a person bitter. So that bitterness is not vairagya. Cynicism is not vairagya. Vairagya is a healthy, positive value that the world then doesn't affect the person. He has chosen the path after seeing the flimsiness of the world. He chooses his path and walks on it with a steady pace. So janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. I hope you're counting how many values we have done. Even if you don't count, when we reach the end of it, it will be 20. So 20 values. Further. Asaktiranabhiswangaha putradara grihadishu nityancha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu asaktiranabhiswangaha putradara grihadishu. Then asaktihi. Asaktihi means non-attachment. We get attached. Attached means we start depending on objects and people and place and other things very slavishly. We start depending on them for our joy, for our pleasure, for our feel-good factor. We start depending. Whatever we get, start depending more and more. That is called attachment only. Saktihi. Then we excessively hold on to them. We develop, we might use the word, oh, I love you, or I like you and all, but it is another way of holding on, attachment. To people you can say, I love you, but we hold on to our furnitures and our cars and our